Whiskey Tango Talks. I'm your host, Derek Visitora. Salt Lake City edition. Alright, so welcome to Salt Lake City. I'm your host, Derek Visitora. What's kind of weird about Salt Lake is it's not what we thought it would be. It actually is very immersive and people friendly. The LDS crowd isn't as big as we thought it would be. Majority of the city actually is very open. A lot of trans in the community, a lot of gays in the community, which kind of shocked us for being such an LDS kind of area. Other than that, being in the heart of Salt Lake City, it was fun to see half of the city is very conservative still, and the other half is very open. The landscape is amazing. You come in and you have these high mountaintops that are still covered in snow. You have all these older buildings, and then you have these new modern buildings being built everywhere. The city is in full growth. The issue with Salt Lake City that we've had thus far is the fact that the service industry here is just blatant trash. A lot of people don't show up for work or don't come to work. There's very few people that want to work in the service industry. Restaurants lack. So it's kind of hard to enjoy your time here because it seems like you're always dealing with other people's issues. Other than that, it's a beautiful city. It's lovely, and the more it grows, it'll tend to become a better city. What we did realize was, due to the nature of bars and whatnot that are here, everything is newer in that scene. There's not that typical hole-in-the-wall bar you would find in your regular city because, well, now alcohol is to a legal limit of 3.4%. Before it was like a 2.5%, so bars are really starting to pick up here, but you don't find your old bars. So another situation that we found to be rather strange is there's a gigantic homeless population that is growing by the day here. When you first come in, you don't really notice it at all. There was one or two you would see here and there, and then as we came down to this area over here, and I believe we're on, I don't know, I'll give it a check here in a minute, but we're about to walk you through a full street of homeless tents and homeless people that refuse to go to homeless shelter. We asked one of the Uber drivers how he felt about the situation. He said that it's just growing day by day and the cops really can't do anything about it. So we're going to take you through a little walk down the street of the homeless tents. Yeah, and then like you guys have a whole like homeless community living on the street over here.
Yeah.
We don't see that in Arizona. Like they don't allow that kind of shit.
We didn't see it until like 8 weeks ago either.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
it's kind of new?
Yeah.
So 8 weeks
It depends
ago.
on what you want to...
No, I just, because we talked to the other Uber driver we had yesterday, or no, this morning, going to Dunkin' Donuts, and he said that, like, the police really don't mess with them. Like, they don't kind of move them around. Like,
No, yeah.
what is the reason?
So
like,
there used to be a big homeless shelter
like over here, right?
near the gateway.
Okay.
So near where you guys were, 1 block south. But because they're developing that area, they decided what they tried to do and it was great in theory, but I don't necessarily know, was rehabilitate a lot of, so they built a few smaller homeless shelters to replace the big one. But that big one housed, and I'm going to make up the number here,
Right.
like 600 people. And then like the 4 smaller ones only house like 300 or something.
Total.
And supposedly the reason for that is because they're trying to not enable, but they're trying to help rehabilitate people back into society.
Yeah.
But it's not near downtown. They're like not super close to public transport. And I think it's going to take years of, I mean, really what was happening was that was a good place for drug dealers or just anyone in general to go, I mean, homeless and others to go and trade drugs. And then people, there was like a common meeting space. And so now that everyone's spread up, which was kind of the point, it's just not working.
And they're just taking to the street.
So now they're here. So they were actually right where I picked you up. They were in that.
Oh, we filmed it. Yeah, back over there.
Oh, God. So I'm like, they were like 1 block over. Like, no, but like right where I picked you up, like right there was, they had the tents. And for whatever reason, they moved up across the street.
Wow.
So.
That's crazy. Yeah, we were walking through and the guy's like, I'll smoke this fucking joint right now on camera.
Yeah.
We don't care, dude.
Yeah.
We were wanting necessarily isn't a drug there, tough guy. You're all right.
Really hardcore there.
You know, as you're watching this person go through what looked like methadone withdrawals on the fucking bench next to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of interesting to
Give that a
see.
shot.
And yeah, you think like, what are, you know, I mean, there's always been panhandlers, but not like they're in the streets, not on the, and especially Salt Lake City, which is such a clean city.
So we got a little resistance walking through the homeless area. We just kind of kept our cameras low, kept walking. We didn't make it a point to really point the camera at anybody. So, but what's crazy is the Jaguar Land Rover dealership is directly across the street from the homeless community here in Salt Lake. So what just is crazy to me is you're here at Washington Square by the courthouse and all that, and there's zero accountability for the homeless and the trash that they have caused over there. There's zero restrooms set up for them. It's just, it baffles me how they're just allowed to set up shop right there and there's no cops. There's nobody trying to warrant what's going on over there. A lot of these people look like they're users. A couple of them are slumped over on benches. They look very malnourished. Nobody seems to care that they're here. So that was downtown portion of Salt Lake City. When you go to the other side of the city, there's this area called Gateway. And as you're looking at the video, you can see it's a very immersive and interactive area. A lot of families out there enjoying their time, having fun. It's catered to the people around. Just very open, clean. You didn't see a single homeless person there, and if they were eating food with people that were next to them. So. Salt Lake City, traditional versus unconventional, religious versus liberals. It was a unique trip, to say the least. A very vast city built in the confines of a beautiful mountain range. And it was like watching the rebirth of a city free of religious confines and restraints. We hope that we can visit again, possibly go back, see what has changed or what hasn't. But overall, we look forward to our journeys. Look out for our next episode. Might be the city you're in, might not be. We don't know. But I'd like to take a moment and thank our partnership with American Bourbon. Go out, get yourself a bottle, have yourself a drink, because anything other than American bourbon would be un-American.